In this video, I'm going to talk about my experiences working with Chang and getting coached by Chang. So for those of you that don't know who Chang is, he is literally the OG of the fitness industry on the internet. And he once had 6 million YouTube subscribers. Like, that is unbelievable, right? And he had one of the biggest fitness companies in the world just a few short years ago. And basically the reason why he doesn't have it now is because he had this epiphany, and he basically realized that having more success, because he was making $10 million a year, and having more success and he had a goal of reaching 500 million with his company. He realized that he felt the happiness that he thought that goal would bring him in an awakening that he had. And then since then, he's been on a different path, a path of finding more fulfillment in life and releasing the negative emotions that he was holding on to. Because even though he was a fitness guy, he had crippling back pain that he never told anyone about, right? And you could check out his story if you're curious about his whole story, about his company and all that stuff. I've done a 3-hour-long marathon podcast with the guy going into all of that, right? Like, in depth. But the reason I'm making this video is because I want to talk about my experiences working with the guy, because I came across him, I think it was 2017. I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and she's in the gym, in the home gym that we had, and she was showing me this guy, this Asian dude who was like super jacked, and he was doing some HIIT workout, and she was following the workout. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, this Asian guy's, his market was helping Asian guys build muscle just like he did. And I was like, oh, that's caught my attention. So I started following him from then. And I never knew that fast forward 5 years, I'd be working with the guy and I'd be, doing 3-hour-long podcasts. And we just shot another podcast, 50-minute one, which is kind of the topic I want to talk about today. So he's the most chill man that I know. Like, and I know a lot of chill guys in my life, but he used to be super angry. And now he's the opposite. Like, he's so relaxed and he's so present that it's just unbelievable. Like, it's like how he is on camera is exactly how he is off camera. And I can't say that for a lot of content creators, because for a lot of content creators, it's just to act, right? But he is literally the guy that you see on the camera is the guy that you see off the camera. And adding to that, what I've learned from him is that the emotions that we have in our life, that we experience, if we don't process them, they do get stored in our body. And the reason why that's important to understand is because these emotions, the emotions that we don't want to feel, like sadness, grief, anger, frustration, irritation, like all of these emotions that we don't want to feel, we just stuff them in our body, right? And we're not even conscious of this, but they get stored. The issues are in the tissues, right? And so just talking about it, for example, let's say you go to a therapist and talk about it. That's great, right? And that's a lot of the coaching that I do as well, is the talk therapy, right? But also a big part of it is you have to move your body, because, emotions get stored in the body. So you have to move your body to release that tension. So for example, let's say if you got shoulder pain, or you got your neck pain, right? You're trapped. Like, sometimes I get neck pain, right? And that's because I feel like the world's on my shoulders. Like, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I notice that my neck's starting to like play up a little bit. And what he made me aware of is like, you gotta move, you gotta release that. And so what he does is he goes and teaches people to release these trapped emotions that are stored in our body. And once we're able to do that, the reason why this is important is because that helps us to go ahead and attack the goals that we want to attack without the resistance, because we're always facing resistance, right? And for the longest time, I didn't know what the resistance was. I was like,
why is it so hard for me to actually do the work?
Like, I'm sitting down, I want to do some work. Why is it so hard for me? Like, it's the emotions that are blocking me from taking the action. And I can just power through it, or I can release the emotions, and then the action's just easy, right? And so this is what Mike coaches on now. And this is why I'm talking about it, because I think this is extremely important for people. And this is why I'm working with Mike now, because it's so important to understand how we relate to our own emotions. Like, for example, for myself, like, I would go to my computer and I'll be like, oh, fuck's sake, I've got to do some work now. And, you know, it's funny because as I say that, maybe people will think, oh, you should be enjoying your work all the time.
Who enjoys their work 100% of the time?
I can't name one person, right? So no, inevitably, you're going to have moments like that. Even if you're
Doing what you love.
you're still going to have moments where you're like,
Oh, fuck's sake.
like, that's just going to happen, right? And I haven't met any successful person who doesn't have those moments. And so, yeah, when I'm feeling like that, the pattern that I've had before is I've just believed my emotions too much to the point where I'm like,
Yeah, you know what? I don't feel like it today.
you know, that is a dangerous, slippery slope because now I start believing that shit and I'm like,
Yeah, you know, I don't feel like it. Oh, I just do it when I feel like it.
And then what happens is a week goes by and you ask me, what did you do in the last week? I don't fucking know. I can't really tell you because I didn't really get any of the main really important tasks done because I was believing my emotions too much. Like, oh, I don't feel like it. Okay, I don't do anything then. And those emotions, like, it's like, why was I not feeling like doing it? Maybe I had fear there. Maybe I think it's not going to work because I'm scared of something, right? So it's that fear that's holding me back. And if I'm not confronting that fear, then it's always going to hold me back. And I'm always going to feel like that. I'm always going to feel like,
Oh, it's too much work.
why? There's a fear. So if you do the work, if I do the work and I get the result, what will happen then? So maybe it's a fear of success, right? A lot of people don't talk about that, but there's always a fear or something holding us back. So what Mike talks about is the emotions that are stored in our body that we don't want to feel, right? And this is preventing us from doing the thing. So how to release that? This is what he coaches on. So it's first through the mind and secondly through the body. So he has a whole practice that he goes through, that he helps people with, which you can follow along, and it helps you release the tension in your body. So like,
He does weird shit. Like, he'll do like this stuff and like shaking it out and you're tapping yourself and all this crap.
it's not crap actually, what am I saying? But it actually helps to move the energy, right? And you feel better afterwards. Like, have you ever wondered why you feel better after a workout? It's because you move in your body, right? You're moving the emotions around, okay? And not just that, but his practice is different to actually just going in a gym and banging some weights, right? His practice involves stretching, mindfulness, breath work, meditation, right? So, and qigong, like it's all mixed in there. And that's just one aspect of it. And the other aspect is the mental aspect, right? So he's going to educate you on how to do this in the mental way, and of course in the physical way as well. So this is what I've learned from Mike, and it's helped me to, you know, just be more present. Because the thing is, when I was going to do work, I wasn't present. Like, most people are not present in their life, right? Even maybe you watching this video, maybe you're not even present right now. Maybe you're doing something else. Maybe you're eating your food right now. Maybe you're thinking about the future. Maybe you're thinking about the past. But very few people are actually present right here, right now. You know why? Because we are either stuck in the past or stuck in the future. We're stuck in the past, that leads to depression. Stuck in the future leads to anxiety, right? We're worried about what could happen. We don't feel safe, right? We don't feel that we'll ever be safe. So that brings us anxiety. I know this very well because I had a panic attack and I've had 2. And touch wood, I don't get any more. But the reason why I've had panic attacks is because I've been focusing on the negative of the future.
Like, oh, fuck, future pacing that I won't be safe in the future.
And really, that is a lack of being present. So when we're present, like right now, as I'm talking to you right now, there is nothing wrong. Like there is 0 wrong right now in this moment, right? So the present moment is the most beautiful thing we have. So the practice essentially is to stay present. Because when I stay present, that's all we got. Like all I got right now is me talking into the camera and looking at you. That's it. So once I can be present with that, everything else is easy because all I got to do is focus on what I'm doing right now, right? Nothing else matters. No one can call me, no one can text me, phone's on airplane mode, shoot it on my phone, and you know, nothing matters apart from this moment. So how do you get there? How do you stay present? This happens in conversations too. Like you're listening to someone and then your mind's going somewhere else. They're talking to you, but your mind's somewhere else, right? So the practice is all about staying present because when you're present, like Mike is now, he's no longer angry, right? Not to say anger's bad. There's a time for anger, but he used to be super angry, used to snap at people all the time. And now he's like the most chill guy. He still has drive. He still has that aggression to get shit done, like the masculine energy, but it's in a healthy way where he can be kind to people and nice to people, right? Doesn't mean he's a pushover. Far from it. He still has his boundaries, but he has healthy boundaries, right? So how can he be like that? Well, it's the practice that he's teaching people. It's to be present, right? Because when you're present, you're not angry, right? Or maybe you are angry, you feel it, right? But you're not angry all the time because you're present. Like you've what's it called? Release those emotions that are keeping you in a low vibration, a low vibrational state. See, it's not about finding alignment. It's about getting away from all the negative, uncomfortable emotions that take you out of alignment, right? Because we are all love. So it's about getting back to that, right? And how you do that is by joining his program, because he's going to share with you all of these details, okay? So I'll put the link below this video. And once you get in there, you'll realize that this is actually going to take work, but it's also accountability, because you can do this by yourself, of course. With anything that is being sold, you can do this by yourself, of course. But two things, it's going to take you longer to get there. And number two, you're not going to have the accountability. So whenever you don't decide to do it, no one's watching, so you can just do whatever you want. This is why most people don't get results in their life, because they don't have accountability. It's been myself for so long, right? Like when I have accountability in my life, my results just go in any area, right? Because I've got someone watching me. Like when I was learning how to enroll people over the phone, I would have to show up every week, 3 times a week, to do role play with the coach, to get better at my skills of asking questions and listening, right? And that's what sales is asking questions and listening. And so that is exactly how you get better, by having accountability. So with Mike's program, he's going to give you that accountability to make sure you're doing the work, because once you do the work, your life will transform. Like one of my friends actually enrolled in the program, and he messaged me after he did it, and he was like, man, I didn't know I needed that. Like I'm not a person that would normally do these kind of things, but because I know you, Aaron, and we go back years, I had the trust in you, so I just went for it. And then he started meditating. This guy has trouble sitting still, right? Maybe you do. And he's like, all these thoughts racing and anxiety. Like, I've been there, right? And when I meditate, I'm still there. I still have thoughts racing. Like, so it's like calming your mind and getting that clarity and releasing those emotions that are holding us back, the negative emotions of fear. This really helps with life, okay? And if you want to get access to this, go ahead and click the link below this video, and you can go ahead and book your free call with Mike himself, the OG of the fitness game, who's going to get on the phone with you and coach you on the first call, right? And then if you want to go further, there's obviously a chance to do that, but it's up to you if you want to do this, right? If you feel like you need that push, that coach that's going to be in your corner and help you with your mental game, because life is all about mental game. Everyone wants the external results, but the external results come from the internal being, right? You got to be it before you can have it, right? Everything's created twice, once in our mind, once in the external world, right? So even if you, like, for example, Mike Chang's in great shape. So if you want to get in amazing shape, right? I know that I obviously have my program, but let's say you vibe with Mike more. And obviously you vibe with his mind, the mental side of things, like the emotional side, releasing the emotions. Like I also help in that, but if you want Mike's help with this, right? Because he has his different approach than me, and he has his own experiences that I don't have the same experiences as him, like his epiphany and unpacking that and his experience. He's been in the game for 20 years, right? So if you want that experience applied to you, because he said once you figure this out, once you get this handled, all your whole life will be simple, because all life is mindset, right? That's all it is. Okay, like how you interact with your kids, how you interact with your spouse, how you interact with your employees, your staff, right? Everyone. It all comes down to your relationship with yourself. And if you've got these fear-based emotions blocking you, like for example, let's say you're angry at the world, right? So that emotion of anger towards everything in your world is going to affect how you interact with the world and the results that you get, right? So that's what's blocking you. It's not the thing. It's not the tactic. It's how you feel about yourself and how you're projecting yourself out there in the world, right? If I feel shit, I can't do a podcast with people because I'll project negative energy onto them, which will push them away. So it's all about managing oneself, right? Everything comes from me. I'm a Ferrari. I got to make sure I'm putting the great fuel in my body, making sure the engine's running properly so I can perform at my best. So this is what I'm talking about. This is really about performing at your best. So if you want to learn from Mr. Mike Chang himself, the man who was making $10 million a year for years and was about to scale, and now he's helping people like yourself for free for the initial call to get this area of your life handled. Because if the emotions are getting in the way of the results, again, most people are not aware of that. I wasn't aware of that. I was just like,
Fuck's sake, I just want to do this. I want to do it. Conscious mind. I just want to do it.
but the subconscious mind's like,
Hang on a minute. You're fucking angry. You're fucking frustrated.
like until you handle that or direct that energy in a positive way, you're never going to be able to get what you want, because you're holding yourself back, because these emotions are holding you back and you haven't released them. So they're still there, and that's the invisible thing. It's like a magnet. If you put a magnet on the opposite ends, it's going to keep repelling. So I'm like,
I'm trying to get there, but it just keeps getting repelled.
because the emotion's in the way. Once I just switch it, release it, boop, I get what I want. And that's the best way I can explain it, right? So go ahead and click the link below this video. Click that, go to the page, read everything on the page, and then go to click the apply or wherever the button says, and go ahead and book your call with Mike Chang himself, because this might be the thing that changes your whole life. Like we might meet up in 2 years at a live event, and then you'll be like, Aaron, man, I watched that YouTube video of yours, and you told me to like go and get coaching from Mike Chang, and something inside me just said, you know what, this is the right time, and I did it, and now like I made like $1 million last year, man, and I've been struggling to make money for my whole life, and it's just really helped me like release the shackles that I've been holding on myself, because I would learn to, accept my emotions and release them and just move forward without any issues, and I still have problems, but I know how to deal with them now. I have the tools. So this is what I want for you. So go ahead and click the link below this video and go ahead and book your free call with Mike, and I will talk to you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends if you found this valuable, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.